Hello Dave is brought to you ad-free by my supporters on Patreon. Become a Patreon yourself and get your name listed as a supporter at the end of every video by following the link in the video description. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. Once again Monday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I have a lot of topics that I want to talk about this week, so let's dive right into it. In Elite, of course, most noticeably, we have the bonus weekend going on at the moment. It's going to run until Wednesday, I believe, where trading profit is increased and engineering materials have been downgraded so you get the engineering cheaper. And this is, of course, something that a lot of people have been taking advantage of over the weekend, and something that I really hope is going to be a recurring thing that's going to come back in the future. And it seems to be very positive, received a lot of positive feedback. There was a little bit on the forums, some people said, oh, but this does not make sense in terms of the lore. But then, of course, there was, on the day of the actual release, there was a Galnet article posted where apparently some of the traders in the game have decided that they would try to remove tax from the game, which was in the lore explanation why suddenly all trade was a lot more profitable. And there was a little bit of miscommunication from Frontier's side, and I think it's just an internal misunderstanding, because after this was posted last Monday, I believe, there was a lot of people asking in the forum for a little bit more details with what's going on, how is this trade bonus going to work, and how is this downgrading of materials going to work, and people were then told, at least for the engineering, that if in order to roll a grade 5, you would only have to pay the materials that you would normally pay for grade 4 upgrade. So a lot of people went out and they collected materials based on that knowledge. And when the thing then actually launched, it then turned out that what was actually implemented was that the materials would be downgraded 1. So instead of using let's say you need a grade 5 material, you would then need the grade 4 version of that material instead. So it was not really a blueprint, like it wasn't a recipe downgrade, it was just the materials were each individually downgraded. Which of course meant that a lot of the people who had collected materials now suddenly ended up with the wrong materials, so they would have to go out and do it all again. A little unfortunate that there was a bit of miscommunication there, but other than that, it feels like, I just feel like it's a good addition to the game. And I hope this is something that Frontier is going to continue to do in the future. I don't think it's going to be every weekend. That would surprise me, but maybe once a month, maybe every other week, something like that, I think would work great. And one thing I hope that they're also going to use it for, I'm not sure if that's their intent with it. I mean, on the surface, it might seem like it's just to try and give people an extra excuse to log into the game to try and boost player numbers. But what I hope they're going to use it for is that they're going to use it for testing radical changes to the game mechanics, because we've previously seen like the game mechanics in Elite is a very, very finely tuned thing, and it seems very fragile. When you change a small thing somewhere, it can have huge ripple effects in other parts of the game, which is of course what has caused many of these gold rushes to appear, where a small thing is changed that would suddenly, if the conditions are right, you can amplify that small change, which suddenly makes something extremely profitable, or something it gets unbalanced. That it's such a delicate thing, and I'm pretty sure Frontier knows that, and that's probably why they would be a little reluctant to go ahead and make larger changes to the game. But with these bonus weekends, they could go in and they now could use for weekends says, what happened if we downgraded all the engineering materials? Or what happened if trade was suddenly twice as profitable as it normally would be? How would that affect the game? And that's something they could hopefully use these bonus weekends as an added benefit. So they will draw in more players, so more people playing the game, of course. And they would also get a test bed for where they could try out radical changes to things. Much like other games use a test server where they might have a dedicated server people can log into, where they would then try like completely different thing. What would happen if I don't know, all weapons suddenly only did half damage, or what would happen if you removed weapon power draw or something like that. From like very radical things you could test, but I'm not suggesting any of those things would probably not be something you'll do during a bonus weekend. I have a hard time seeing how they will fit into the lore, but I hope my points come through that could be used for something like that as well. Also, last week on Friday, I joined in a content creator live stream, like roundtable discussion together with Obsidian, Yamix, Exesius, and Peroxim. And we streamed for what was meant to be a ish 2-hour stream, ended up being 3 hours. And the topic was money making and the money grind in the game and how we all feel about it. And it's received a lot of positive feedback. So without spoiling too much, I'm pretty sure that this is something that's going to happen again in the near future, because it was a ton of fun, and it seems like a lot of you guys really appreciated that that we get some of the content creators for around the league together, and we then discuss different aspects of the game. Now again, the topic was money making, but we went off topic quite a few times and discussed a lot of other things. It is a 3-hour live stream, but you don't really have to watch it. It's more like a podcast, to be honest. So you could just have it playing in the background while you play the game if you want to listen into it. So yeah, that's going to be something that's hopefully going to be a recurring thing. And if you have, again, ideas for topics that you want us to try and discuss, you're of course more than welcome to post them either in any of the 3 live stream comment section or under the Hello Dave, and we'll take them up and we'll see what next topic's going to be. But at least that was a ton of fun, and I think it's great to see the content creator community getting together and doing more collaborative stuff like this as well. Before we move on to some of the stuff happening around the channel, I want to touch about the controversy that's been around Kerbal Space Program lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but now with all the GDPR, like you probably received like tons and tons of emails about that various companies have updated their privacy policy, and now Kerbal has also changed their privacy bill, the end user license agreement, and it doesn't look good, I must admit. Now, so at the moment it seems like they are collecting not only like your email, your name, your gender, your age, your hardware spec, your IP address, and your geolocation, amongst other things, I believe. And they also say in the agreement that if you agree to it, they are allowed to share this with third parties. And this has caused quite a bit of a riot, and a lot of people are really angry with the developers of Kerbal Space Program because of this. Because and it's also kind of killed my joy for the game a little bit. I have I would call it active series, because the spacing between my Kerbal videos are so big that it's not really a series. It's more like a sometimes recurring event. And I really hate that series to die. I really want to finish it, but on the other hand, I really don't like that the fact that they're collecting all that information about me and sharing it freely with third parties. It kind of gives you a wrong taste, right? But anyway, so that's what's going on with Kerbal, and I'll see how I'm going to proceed with my Kerbal stuff. I also have lots of other games I want to get into, so maybe this is going to be the opportunity to end that Kerbal. I know there's some people out there, some of you guys out there who really enjoys that series, so that's why I'm reluctant to just end it, or at least there's going to be some kind of conclusion video on it, so it's not just going to be something half-assed that's not going to be completed properly. But I have something I need to clarify from last week. Last week I mentioned that I was going to start doing these more new player friendly videos. It's going to be shorter, about half the length of my usual videos, so I'm going to keep them less than 5 minutes. That's been difficult for me. It's been very difficult actually, because when I record I sometimes get this, oh, I should mention this, and then I begin to go into detail with something, and now that I'm trying to keep the format shorter and and keeping it to a narrower topic. I have to try to stop doing that. Don't go off on a tangent like that. But anyway, about those mini shorter videos, there was a bit of a confusion about it. It's not that my format of the videos I do in my normal format, where I keep the videos around 10 minutes and I try to cram in as much information as I can in those 10 minutes. That format is not going to change. That's going to stay exactly as it is, and the majority of the videos is going to stay in that exact format. It's only the rapid fire guides, as they've been named, that's going to go with the new format, or the shorter, more compressed format. So don't worry if that those of you guys who thought that suddenly this is just going to be short videos instead of those usual 10-minute videos that you're used to. That's not what's going to happen. It's only this specific series that's going to go into those 10-minute or 5-minute videos. That being said, I also mentioned last week that I didn't know exactly when that's going to launch because I wasn't done recording. I am done recording now. That means on Wednesday, it'll be in 2 days, the first set of videos is going to launch, and it's going to be launched with a introduction video. That's just like an explanation of what this series is, very short. And then 2 videos of roundabout almost to the limit of 5 minutes, I believe. Where I go over first the heads-up display, and secondly I go over the core internals of your ship. What do they do, and stuff like that. So again, something that a lot of you guys would probably already know, but I believe there might be a few pieces of information there that you could find interesting. But just to get the series started, on Wednesday there's going to be actually 3 videos launched, both the introduction and then those 2 first videos in the series, just to get things rolling. And then I'll see how it goes, and there'll probably be more. As I mentioned last week, I have a long list of stuff that I want to cover. So there's definitely plenty of videos to do there. Then I need to mention live streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and I will have to cancel the live stream, unfortunately, because I will be out of the country on work, doing some business abroad. Meaning that, of course, I will not be able to live stream. So instead, I've had Cactus Juggler, one of my moderators on Discord. He's going to host a community event on the Discord instead. We're most likely going to do some kind of mission thing. But again, he's going to host that. It's going to be on Discord. There's a link for Discord in the description below, where you're more than welcome to join. And then there will be information posted about it over there. And it's probably going to be, I guess, around the 9 o'clock kind of thing, where the live stream would usually be. I will try to be online on voice at least, but again, I'm going to be abroad, so I will only have my my work laptop, which does not have Elite installed, because that we're not allowed to. So, but I will try to see if I can get on voice using the browser client of Discord, so at least I can talk to you guys while the event is going on. But I will most likely not be able to join you guys. But anyway, therefore, because this live stream is then cancelled, I might try to get a live stream going later in the week. I don't have a complete overview of when that's going to be, but we'll wait and see. I'll try to get something together that might be postponed, at least at the end of this current week. So like Thursday, Friday, maybe sometime during the weekend. I'll announce it as soon as I know. But at least that's just small changes to live streaming plans this week. But I think I'm going to call it here today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, remember to give it a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.